look at this shit. This is my first ever film camera. There it is. This is what got me started. Bask in all of its patinaed glory. Look at that. I love this. I love the patina on this guy. This is mostly caused from camera straps rubbing up against this. But I think it looks so cool. I'm a sucker for all black cameras, specifically because I think this kind of all black camera like this looks great. I'm not saying it looks better than my AE1, but I'm saying I like black. Anyway, this camera was given to me when I was not into film. I stuck it in a drawer thinking it was like an ancient relic. I was like, maybe I'll do something with that lens. And then I found some rolls of film in my attic, Tri-X. And then I was like, hey, I wonder if that camera works and takes that film, because I had no idea how film worked or what it was. I put it in there. It turned out it only needed a battery. So I put the battery in it, which is the same as the AE1. It's an LR44. 4 LR44. There's 4 of them. And it worked great. And that's what got me started in film. And then I had found another Yashica, a Yashica 200 AF or something. It's like a stupid 200, like it's like a stupid autofocus model. It's really bad. But this is my first film camera. It's an SLR. It's a very basic SLR. There's like no controls on this thing. You got shutter speed, which is a delightfully chunky dial. And actually requires a little bit of force. You got your aperture, which is obviously on the lens. You got your shutter speed or your ISO dial. Over here, you have your battery check light. You got your film counter, which is broken on this camera. Self timer, flash, lens release, and a depth of field preview lever, which is actually very handy to have, and a lot of consumer models didn't have that. Anyway, this lens is unique in my collection I only have 2 lenses for it. We'll talk about this guy in a sec, but I have only ever shot this with this lens, and this is a Yashica DSP 50mm 1.9. This is one of my favorite lenses ever. I've adapted this to my digital camera. I shoot it all the time. I shot parts of a short film that never got released on it, and I love it. It's so sharp. Its bokeh is beautiful. 1.9 is a good maximum aperture, and I just love it. It's great. You can see it's slightly falling apart, and my solution is gaff tape, because the solution is always gaff tape. Yeah. It does not have a like a socket for a cable release. That's one of my biggest gripes with this camera. It does not have a socket for a cable release. It's just a big shutter button. I do like the shutter button like that. It's very easy to press, unlike some other cameras that I own. But it's a little annoying. There's film inside this, not actively being shot. It's just on a shelf because I ripped the film off the spool while I was winding, and I haven't had time to develop it yet. It's been like this for like a month. Anyway, this little lever here is how you actually use the light meter. While this is open, you can slide this way or push on it, and that activates, we're gonna see if I can do this. That activates the light meter inside the viewfinder, which just adjusts like this with red and green lights to tell you if your exposure is correct. It's also supposed to index with the aperture to show you the aperture in the viewfinder. Does not work on this camera. The shutter speed does though, so you can see the shutter speed in the viewfinder. Which is pretty nice. Not the aperture though, which kind of sucks, but also I don't really care. The meter on this is actually pretty damn good for what it is. It actually works really well. And I'm kind of pissed that this meter still works and my AE1's light meter doesn't work. But what am I gonna do about it? Anyway, this is the only other lens that I have for this camera system. It is like the shittiest Soligor zoom ever. It's nasty. There's all kinds of haze and fungus and stupid shit. And this is a terrible lens. Even on the digital camera, it looks bad. And that's saying something because most vintage lenses look pretty good on digital cameras. And this, it's terrible. It's a 35 to 140, which is a weird focal length range. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I've never used this lens. This lens, however, made by Yashica, great, love it. There's not much else to say other than I'd like to show some photos that I've taken with this camera, which I don't have any prints of currently because I kind of sold them all, or at least they're in storage in the boxes that are going to be sold, and I don't have any on me, but I have made some darkroom prints and I'll hopefully show some scans of those right now, just so you can kind of get an idea of what this lens looks like. Anyway, yes, this is my first film camera. I've shot some of my favorite pictures on this. Honestly, this lens still holds up very well. I have not had a problem with it. It's very nice to shoot. Beautiful patina on this model. Would I recommend it? This camera is worth like $5 mint. It's not a very good camera, but if you got $5 extra and you find a good listing, I mean, it takes pictures. That's what you want, right?